You know, it's been 2 years since the worst crime in Plano's history, and we're still learning more about what happened. I'm Chris Lawrence.
And I'm Cynthia Izaguirre. Spencer Height shot and killed 8 people at a party, including his estranged wife. The bartender who served him that day was recently arrested, but tonight co-workers and friends are coming to her defense. Matt Howerton joins us now. Matt, we're getting a first-hand account of what actually happened that night.
That's right, and it's from a co-worker who was there the day all of this went down. He set up this GoFundMe for Lindsay Glass to pay for her legal fees. Now, Glass has been charged with over-serving Spencer Height just hours before he shot and killed those people. But tonight, this coworker gives us a brand new perspective. We spoke to a fellow bartender named Brant Banks, and you see, Glass texted him when Spencer Height started acting strange and spinning a knife on the bar. We see that here in security footage. In that text, Glass says, "Okay, he just keeps saying he has to put someone in his place. I'm trying to keep him here." Banks responds, "Be there in 2. When Banks shows up, he starts talking with Height out on the patio up there in the left-hand corner, and Height admits he's having problems with his marriage. When Height leaves, Banks claims he wanted to call police, but the bar's owner didn't want him to. Banks and Glass knew where Height's wife lived. Eventually, they drove to her home and found Height's car parked outside. They called 911, but were too late. Height had already pulled the trigger. And even though Spencer Height appears drunk in security footage, Banks told WFAA this about Glass and why he started the GoFundMe. "She's a hardworking and responsible bartender. To have charges levied down on her seemed a bit overboard." That night, Spencer was going to do what Spencer was going to do. And tonight, Glass's attorney says the support for his client is proof that a lot of people disagree with her arrest. And as for the families of the victims, 5 of them sued Glass and the bar she worked at. That case was dismissed, but they plan to refile. Cynthia.
All right, Matt, thank you. And today in